This letter says, Wasim Rizvi, letter says that issue was almost resolved. I'm reading. Issue was almost resolved and parties had reached a definite settlement. If the parties had reached a definite settlement, Mr. Wasim Rizvi, and they're asking for 1 or 2 weeks more time, they're saying same could not be finalized due to paucity of time. If only 1 or 2 weeks more were available with you. Now we are saying at Republic TV, if it's a matter of 1 or 2 weeks, why isn't it a possibility that if they can reach a resolution, they should be given 1 or 2 weeks time? Because if the efforts have gone in, the mediation efforts, and they've spent all their time, energy and efforts to come to a definite conclusion which they are talking about, they said they had reached a conclusion. So do you think 1 or 2 weeks is nothing much to ask for at this stage? Can we afford 1 or 2 weeks more? I think yes. Mr. Wasim Rizvi, what's your thought?
देखिए, अगर कि 1-2 हफ्ते में बात तय हो जाती है तो हम ये समझते हैं कि कोई परेशानी नहीं है, लेकिन इस बात को इनको एक तरह से इनको ये बात को क्लियर करना होगा कि सेटलमेंट किस तरह का चाहिए। हम भी उस सेटलमेंट में जब हो रहा था तो हम भी वहां पर गए, और क्योंकि सुन्नी वक्फ बोर्ड कुछ कहता है, मुस्लिम पर्सनल लॉ बोर्ड कुछ कहता है, सुन्नी वक्फ बोर्ड मुस्लिम पर्सनल लॉ बोर्ड के दबाव में रहता है।
एक मिनट, आप मुस्लिम पर्सनल लॉ बोर्ड के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, तो जफरयाब जिलानी भी हमारे साथ अभी बने हुए हैं। लेट्स गो अक्रॉस टू हिम। जफरयाब जिलानी, इफ यू कैन हियर मी मिस्टर जिलानी, वसीम रिजवी ऑफ द शिया वक्फ बोर्ड एंड महान धर्मदास litigant also with us. This is a big breaking news story. I have the letter with me, Mr. Jilani. The letter says from the Uttar Pradesh Sunni Central Waqf Board, written to Ibrahim Khalifullah, Justice Ibrahim Khalifullah, Sri Ravi Shankar, Sri Ram Panju. The letter says, Mr. Jilani, and I'm going to read from the letter, subject is request for taking further steps towards finalization of the settlement arrived in the proceedings of mediation. It says, and I quote, with your enormous and commendable efforts, issue was almost resolved and parties had reached a definite settlement. Zafaryab Jilani, would you know more details about what the settlement was? Mr. Jilani.
Yes, so far as I am aware that it is incorrect to say that parties have almost near compromise or near mediation was likely to be successful. This is his personal opinion, but I know that I had not met him in the last week of July when the negotiations were over, but I had met all other parties. Muslim side, they were not at all going to accept the proposal of the commission, this mediation committee. So there was no question of any likely settlement.
So, but are you saying the Uttar Pradesh Sunni Central Waqf Board is misleading with this letter? Because I have the letter in front of me.
Not the only Sunni Waqf Board is one of the 8 parties. There are 7 other Muslim parties who are parties in the suit. So Sunni Waqf Board alone could do nothing.
So is this your personal view or is this the view of the All India Muslim Personal Law Board, Mr. Jilani?
This is the legal position I am telling you, not view.
Right.
Sunni Waqf Board, this is a legal position that there are 8 parties on the Muslim side. Out of it, Sunni Waqf Board is one party.
Okay.
It is a legal position.
So, but you're not aware of any breakthrough or settlement, sir? You're not aware of any breakthrough?
No, there was no breakthrough, no settlement up to 30th of July because our colleagues have appeared. I have not come to Delhi, but Mr. Shakir Ahmed Sayyed, Mr. Shamshad, Mr. Ishaq Ahmed Advocate, they all had met the mediation committees, members and chairman. They were at Delhi on the last 29th of July and 30th of July.
Okay, this is
no breakthrough.
Mr. Jilani, this is very strange. You're saying the 8 Muslim parties were there and one Muslim party is putting it on record that it had neared a settlement. I'm sure you
maybe,
have...
Maybe. So I am also stepping at your TV channel is taking my statement. Definitely it is a record. There was no such breakthrough.
No breakthrough is what the All India Muslim Personal Law Board is saying on record. I think Shivani wants to ask a question.
My colleague, you must know.
बोलिए शिवानी भी है, शिवानी पूछेंगे आपसे.
Right. Therefore, the parties were not in agreement.
Right.
The parties, Muslim parties, and too. And I cannot say about the chairman because with him I had not met on 29th of July or 30th of July. But thereafter I had met him. He did not, I had
Zafaryab Jilani.
with him in the first week of August. Then he did not say any such thing with me.
Zafaryab Jilani, I do want to ask you though, all through the process where several leaders like Sri Ravi Shankar and of course the mediation panel authorized by the Supreme Court met with various parties. The settlement that was even talked about before this letter came to light was that the masjid is shifted to a different piece of land, and both the construction of a new masjid is facilitated through money and land. And there is protection provided to other such structures. Would you be at all open to such an idea which was talked about? And I believe that is, those are the contours of the settlement that even the Sunni board is talking about.
No such settlement was possible and is possible. And Sunni Waqf board also up to 30th July did not accept any such proposal. Now what he wants to say, let him say public that what proposal he wants to give, I don't know. But he has not agreed to such proposal.
Very quickly, I just want to ask you, Mr. Jilani, are you opposed to any mediation starting again, as is being demanded by Sunni Waqf
It is not
board?
a question of my opposition. Supreme Court had initiated. Supreme Court has closed it. So now anybody who wants any mediation, go to Supreme Court.
Yeah, they have actually. The mediation panel who's received these letters have actually now gone back to the Supreme Court. I do appreciate you, Zafaryab Jilani, for joining us on this big breaking news. Remember, there was a lot of stunned eyes and raised eyebrows when two parties, Nirvani Akhada and Sunni Waqf Board, went to the mediation panel wanting the mediation to continue side by side. We've accessed that letter by the Sunni Waqf Board, but it seems there is a lot of divide between all parties. We'll be right back after a short break.